So I want to tell you guys about a client request that sent me down a bit of a rabbit hole. A couple months ago, one of my real estate agents reached out with a really unique property. Beautiful piece of land, approved home site, already cleared and ready to build. Problem? There wasn't actually a house there yet. She had a really simple request, honestly. She wanted to be able to show potential buyers what the property could become. Maybe place a finished home on the lot. Maybe even show a couple different home styles so buyers could visualize the possibilities. Easy to do in photo, but video? At first, I honestly wasn't sure how I was going to pull that off. Thankfully, this wasn't a rush project. The listing wasn't going live for another couple of months, so I had some time to start digging around and see what options were out there. While I was searching, I ended up checking back with one of my old sponsors, AutoReel, and I hadn't realized it yet, but they had just released a new VFX feature that kind of did almost exactly what I was looking for. There are two different ways to approach it through AutoReel. The first is what they call house drop effect, where the finished house appears directly on the property, a little boom, boom, boom action. The second is more of a construction sequence where you watch the house getting built in place. Honestly, I thought both looked pretty dang good. Personally, I lean towards the construction version because it tells more of a story, but my client actually preferred the house drop effect. At that point, it's really just personal preference, I guess. The important part is that I was able to give my client exactly what she had envisioned without having to jump through a bunch of hoops or spend hours trying to piece together a complicated visual effects workflow. Sometimes that's all these tools need to do. They don't have to reinvent your business. They just have to solve one real problem when it comes up. In this case, that's exactly what happened for me. The important part is that I was able to give my client exactly what she'd envisioned without having to jump through a bunch of hoops again, or spend several hours trying to piece together a complicated visual effects workflow. And that's what really got me thinking. As photographers and videographers, we spend so much time thinking about what we can capture that we sometimes forget our clients don't really care how we got there. They care about telling the story of the property, not ours. In this case, the story was, here's what your future could look like. And that's what she was trying to sell. That's a completely different emotional response for a potential buyer. Could I have hired someone to build this effect from scratch? Sure. That was my original game plan, honestly. Could I have spent hours learning another piece of software? Absolutely. I love doing that. But from a business standpoint, neither of those options really made sense for what I was essentially a single client request. This let me take on a project that honestly, I probably would have turned down a year ago or spent even more time in the rabbit hole. And I think that's the bigger takeaway. Every once in a while, a client asks for something that falls just outside of your normal services. You immediately say no, well, you're gonna miss the opportunities. But if you have tools that let you experiment without investing days of your time, suddenly those, I don't know if I can do that conversations become, yeah, let's see what we can make happen. That's why I wanted to share this. Not because everyone watching is going to need a dropping virtual house onto a piece of land for their video tomorrow, but because these kind of features open up the possibilities that most of us probably haven't even thought about offering yet. Sometimes one random client request ends up expanding what your business is capable of providing. I'm Jeremy Deal with Picture Your Property, and I'll catch you next time. I'll catch you next time. And let me know if there's any cool effects down in the comments that y'all use regularly that I might find useful in my workflow. Peace.